Jackie Grayson. If you do not know our Jackie, Jackie has been doing this thing for several years. We're coming up on 4, buddy. This fall will be 4. And she has been slaying the personal volume game since day one. Okay. Like she came in and the week that she enrolled, it was like Black Friday, and she can tell you exactly how many customers, but it was like somewhere in 2 handfuls. Like in like her first like weekend, and it was crazy and it was amazing. And she is one of the most consistent, probably I should have pulled the numbers for you, Jack, but the highest enrolling personal volume person in my whole organization. I know as far as like the whole organization of Mel, she's right up there as well. And so this is really exciting because when we were having a leaders meeting, we said, everyone's running for Vegas right now. And if they're not, they should be. And how can we help them? And we're like, wait, Jackie should help them. Like Jackie should actually help them. Yeah, she's always #1 PV on Mel's whole organization too. So we're really excited for you guys to hear from her today. And I just want to give you like a little I don't want to say necessarily proof because you guys know I'm literally hyping her, but today's the 17th and she has 3,499 in PV right now on the 17th. So she kills it. She kills it. And a lot of those are her return customers this month. And so she's not only going to tell us how things work for, new customers, but also her customer retention and how after 4 years, she's still doing the dang thing. So if you're new and you need help with your customers, this is the person to listen to. If you've been around for a while and you want help with your customers, this is also the person to listen to. Okay. I'm going to be taking notes. I'm sure Mel's going to be taking notes. So Jackie, why don't you just take it away, Queen?
Oh my gosh. I feel so gassed up right now. I could like puke. Thank you. Wow. Such an incredible introduction. Well, for everyone who's here, it is always such a privilege to just like be together on these calls, but even more of a privilege to be able to share what I've learned along these almost 4 years and to really just like pass along what I'm so passionate about with our business with Monat. And when it all comes down to it, our VIP customers and the money that we are able to make through our personal volume is our lifeblood. And how cool is it that we get to do it with shampoo? Like, I will never get over it. So I love this topic. So grateful that we get to chat about it tonight. Hopefully you have your pen and your paper. If I'm talking at 100 miles per hour, please just like yell at me in the chat. I had 2 cups of coffee today, which I normally only have 1. So let's just say I am gassed up and I'm ready to go. So you're going to leave this training with a clearer vision on your specific story and the power that you have when you share your specific story and the tools that you can use to help nurture new customers by building trust, building that bridge in between you and that person, and creating that really strong customer to sponsor bond. So this is just crazy. You thought you were going to come to a call that was all about you sell this system with this product for this much and you'll up your PV. Well, kind of, but not really. So this training is that, but it's also not that at the same time. So it's just crazy to me how 3.5 years ago, I was literally just a girl in my early 20s who was having a life crisis with my hair. I'm not even kidding. My hair was so deplorable. I would have to wash it every single day. And if I didn't, I felt extremely gross and my ends were crispified. Like, look at these ends. They're gorgeous now, but they used to be so crispy. Like they would break off at the slightest tug. And that was terrible. I ended up losing inches of my hair because of the heat damage and the split ends that I had. And if you didn't know this about me, I'm a person of faith. And a huge part of my faith is following Jesus and keeping my hair uncut. And so when I was in my early 20s and I was having this crisis with my hair, I was really just so heartbroken because I was coming to the point where I thought that cutting my hair was the only solution to feeling better about my hair because just the appearance was so sad to me. But then I started watching two girls that I graduated high school with, and they were using the product and they were sharing it on social media. And I watched them like a hawk for 6 months. And then finally my birthday month came around, which is October. And I had like birthday money. I had money from redeeming cans. I would literally collect cans and redeem them next to homeless people, or unhoused. Sorry, homeless is not politically correct. I would I would sell my drawings for like $5, $10, and $12. There were so many ways that I was trying to increase my wallet so that I could afford these products. Well, I could finally afford them. And guess what? I spent $72 on my very first purchase. I got the Renew shampoo, the advanced hydrating conditioner, and the thickening spray, which we don't even carry anymore. And you want to know what? I was a one wash wonder. I washed with these products for the very first time, and I was 100% sure that Monat was going to be the tool to healing my hair. And that was almost 4 years ago. And now I've helped hundreds of women with my exact story help heal their hair and regain their hair confidence. And guess what? I just shared with you verbatim what I share with every single person who is interested in trying Monat. And oh, I lost my place in my notes. Oh, well, but let's think about this for a second. So I literally just shared with you verbatim what I say whenever I share my story about my hair and the problems I was dealing with and how Monat helped me to change that story, to turn it all around. And it took me less than 5 minutes. So the first part of this training is all about learning how to tell your story. And we want to share our stories, not just because it's a huge part of our journey with Monat, but because when we're able to connect with other people on an emotional level, that is how we start to build trust with other people. So the first leg, like I mentioned before, is all about how to tell your story. So after this call, take 5 minutes and start to frame your story. And you can even drop it in your chat after you're finished if you don't already have your story. If you're brand new, fresh to the business, like my girl Ashton, I'm looking at her right now, and Michaela, I'm looking at her right now. Michaela has her story kind of put together, but Ashton, she's like a week into the business. Take 5 minutes to put your story together, because you can tell the facts and that's okay. But what it all comes down to is your story is going to help sell other people on the product, and not sell in an icky way. It's really just the decision to invest in themselves and invest in the product. So as I mentioned before, you can connect with anyone on social media. It's literally amazing. But the people that build trust with you and build a bridge like of trust with you, like I mentioned before, that starts with the ability to connect with you on an emotional level. So think about that. And let's go down kind of into the nitty gritty. Your story, whether it's hair care, whether it's skincare, whether it's with our wellness products. Of course, mine's hair because it's 99% of my selfie, right? But your story needs to be real and raw, because when it's authentic, people feel it. And when it's inauthentic, people feel it. So keeping with the real and the raw is going to help you not only have an easy, like it's easy for you to share your story, but it's also easy for other people to receive your story and also see themselves in your story. So your words have power. And when we're telling our story, we want to use descriptive words, and you get extra bonus points if you use descriptive language. You have emotion when you tell your story. You have a before picture, which is great. And you actually put your face to camera and you share about where you came from and where you are now, whether it's a week or whether it's 4 years. You still have a point A and a point B, or even a point A to, I don't know, point F. You can get there. So as I mentioned before, the descriptive words that I used in my story were: my oily scalp made me feel gross. My crispy ends and inches of breakage made me feel hopeless. My hair's appearance made me feel unconfident. So let's talk about the flip side. Monat products made me feel clean. Like, I washed my hair yesterday, sweated like a pig last night because it was so freaking humid and hot, and I still feel clean. That's a miracle for me. Monat products made me feel confident again. I wore my hair down to the post office yesterday after freshly washing it, and I would have never done that pre-Monat. I wouldn't have even worn my hair down. I would have put it in a bun or something. Monat products made me feel like a new woman. So these are all positive emotions. We want to take people from our pain to our pleasure, where we were, where we are now. Some people say feel, felt, found. So if you want to use those kind of terms to frame your story, that's also another tool that you can use. But for me, when I was given that tool, it's kind of like, it took me longer to formulate my story. So I just kind of like to think of it as where was I and where am I now? And what kind of emotions can I evoke from my story? Because it's true. Everything I said is true. So the importance of telling your story also carries over into your customer retention, which is another topic that we're going to talk about in this little call. But the more you share your story, the more you attract people who see themselves in your story. And this is going to be a common theme, not only in sharing the product, but also sharing the business and what we have to offer to other people. So that was super simple, right? If that was simple, write simple in the comments. But we're going to move on. We're going to talk about customer acquisition, which is one of my favorites. It's also very simple. You don't have to use a lot of words. You don't have to use a lot of convincing. You just have to connect with people. So once you've got your story down, the product part is easy. It's seriously so easy. What is your lineup? Great. Now help your people with your beauty routine, whether it's hair care, skincare, or wellness. Now, there is every once in a blue moon where you get somebody who is like exact opposite of what you are. Like I have a few clients who struggle with a dry scalp. They have super curly hair and they don't struggle with dead ends. Like, cool. But I would say that's like 2% of my customer base. The rest of my customer base are women who are like me, who had struggles like me. So what you need to get really clear on is what your system is. What is your bundle? What is your beauty routine? And then whenever you share your story, you follow it with your beauty routine. And this leads right into customer acquisition. But you're probably wondering, how do I attract people who are watching me to inquire about my beauty routine? How do I start the conversation? How do I reach out to people who have taken my quiz? All these sorts of things. So let's start with the first question. How do I attract onlookers to inquire about my beauty routine? So write this down. I have 4 words for you. 4 simple words. You are the billboard. You are the billboard. And that is how you attract people who are watching you. You're the billboard. Get your sweet little booty on your stories, on your Instagram story, on your TikTok, on your Facebook, like in your community, in your friend group, and just be. Like I could just be anywhere and be wearing my favorite sweater out in public, and somebody will walk past me and say, "Oh my God, I love your sweater." Like, thanks. I was just here being. I was just here wearing my favorite sweater, like unapologetically. Of course you notice my sweater. Well, the same goes for hair or skin. I notice people's skin all the time. I notice their complexion. I notice their hair too. But since I've been dealing with some acne issues, I just like zero in on their skin. I'm like, oh, I want to compliment their skin so much. You are the billboard, and that is how you attract people who are eventually going to inquire about your beauty routine. So I was actually just talking to Caitlin and Mel about this yesterday as well, but we live in a culture, this is a reminder, we live in a culture that is very much about instant gratification, but we can use this characteristic to our advantage because guess what? If you get your hands on some certified Monat from one of us, and you use it properly, whether it's hair care, skincare, or wellness, you get your one wash wonder. You really do. And I was telling them, like, who in our day and age wouldn't want to instantly feel better about their hair or skin after just one wash? Like, that is the power that we have at our fingertips. And rarely, Rarely have I seen it to where a sponsor like messes up and totally gives the wrong recommendation, and the person didn't listen to the instructions and absolutely hated their experience. Never. I I don't think ever. So you have this power in your story and in your influence, and when you step into your story and are being consistent, you can be a billboard for your personal experience, and that will attract some people. Now, some people won't bite. So that's why you have to start the conversation. So this is our next question. How do I even start the conversation? Well, my tried and true method for connecting with new people, which can turn over into new customers, which turns over into higher PV. Let's like keep the string going here in the call. How I love to connect with new customers or new people through social media is through gratitude. And I have a whole training on that. Caitlin, I actually don't know if it's available to share, but I think if there's a link or something we could share in the chats, because I didn't want to spend the whole training talking about it. But basically the how is about being very intentional with how you do your reach outs. And when I'm connecting with a new follower that is new to my profile and they've liked some of my content, I'll go to their profile and I'll just do the same exact thing. I'll go through their profile, give them a follow, like whatever I like on their profile, and then I'll follow it up with a direct message that says, "Thank you so much for your love on my profile. I just wanted to reciprocate the love. I love your smile. I love your fashion. I love the way that you're traveling all around the world." Like, there's so many different ways to compliment the person that you're talking to, but I always end it with kind of like a call to action. If you ever have any content requests or questions about Monat, my DMs are always open. And if you're already being consistent on your social media about what you do, what products you use, what you like, you're in your life, that person's not going to question, well, what is Monat? Like, I don't even know what this is, left field. So let's keep that in mind as well. And let's move on to the last question. So the last question is, how do I follow up with people who have taken my quiz, whether it's a skin quiz or hair quiz? And I just sent a follow-up message today, and you can write down this verbiage if you want to. But it says, "Hey there, I was going through my hair quizzes or my skin quizzes or whatever quiz they took, and I see that you took mine, and I love to include a little heart eyes emoji. I would love to answer any questions you might have about Monat." And then I put a little fairy in there because that's one of my favorite emojis right now. And then I always ask them to tell me about their hair or tell me about their skin, because I want them to tell me, like, what are the details? I have their hair results or their skin results, but I want to hear from them what their hair concerns are, what they're really looking for. So once the conversation has started about their hair, skin, or wellness concerns, then you begin your consult. And it's so much more fun when you just take it easy and you keep your verbiage short. You know, you don't feel like you have to vomit on anybody about what Monat is. And also something that is super fun and easy and fluid, especially on Instagram DMs, is sending little videos, sending a 60-second video or even less than that, just letting them know that you are real and you have something to provide. You have value to provide. So I wanted to include the hair consult language that I use because it's so simple. I ask I ask 4 questions in a hair consult. The first question is your scalp typically oily or dry? The second question is your hair naturally curly, wavy, or straight? The third question is, do you struggle with split ends? Because Split End Mender is my holy grail product. But you could put any question you wanted there for your third question. And then the last question is, what would be your biggest hair complaint and your biggest hair goal? And then once they've answered that last question, I always follow it up with, well, I love that. Like, be so excited. I love that. And I'd love to create a cart for you and show you the products that I know will work towards your hair goals. And then add another heart eyes because you're freaking excited about it. They just shared a vulnerability with you and you're about to take really good care of them. So you want to let them know that you have confidence in what you're about to recommend to them. Even if you've never recommended a shampoo in your life, you have, I'm going to say pretty confidently, you have a mentor either on this call or whatnot that could help you create a recommendation for your potential. So even if you don't know what kind of cart to create, you're going to say you'd love to create one anyway.
And I
Oh, Okay. Okay, so once that's done, you have to celebrate because you just received that email that said, "Congratulations, your business is growing." Woo! And then you get over the little dopamine spike you just got, and now you have to actually do the real work, right? Okay, this is the kicker. How do you retain VIP customers? And this is like the little last leg of our training, and it's actually one of my favorites. So, the non-technical answer to that question is you make them feel valued. You make them feel like they just got a bestie. They just made one of the best decisions they could have ever made by choosing you, by choosing Monate, and you're going to take really good care of them. So, I'm going to give you some action steps. I have 3 action steps for retaining your VIP customers. And here we go. Okay, so the first action step after you receive that email, and this can apply to retail customers too. I don't think we should just keep our special treatment to VIPs. I think we should also spoil our retails because they have every opportunity to upgrade to VIP or market partners. So let's take really good care of all of our customers. So the first action step is to give my new customer my number. I give them my personal phone number and I tell them to text me the instant they get their products in the mail. That is the exact wording I use. The instant you get your package in the mail, I want you to text me. And then that's step 1. So step 2 is a gratitude package. I actually meant to grab everything before I came to this call, but I didn't. So we're just going to imagine everything that I'm talking about right now. So what I have found in my almost 4 years is that snail mail is something that is still special. Like, it's so rare that it's special, especially from like not a bot, but an actual human. So I would say that snail mail is the easiest way to just gain somebody's trust who doesn't even know you in real life. Like, I can't tell you the hundreds of people I've never even met in person. They don't know me from Adam. All they know from me is what I put on social media. I send them a package and they say, "Oh my God, you're so sweet." I could have had a bad day when I was sending that package, but they still think I'm sweet. Like, it makes such a big difference. So what I like to do is I like to just go on Amazon and I get bubble mailers that are about 4x6, pretty small. Mailers that are 4x6. I get scrunchies, I get hair accessories, and I get a thank you card. And I pair that with samples that I know my new VIP is going to want to combine or pair with what they just bought. So it pays to put some intentionality into your gratitude package as well. And then do a handwritten thank you note or a post-it or 2 on how to use the samples that they just got, and something fun like scrunchies and hair accessories. You can just top it all off. And that is how you can say thank you for like $4.65, because that's how much normally it costs to send them, but it's worth it. It's an investment in the lifeblood of your business and definitely will pay dividends in your personal volume every single month. So it's worth doing. Simple gestures like giving your number or mailing a gratitude package goes such a long way. And I still have many customers who started with me back on Black Friday 3.5 years ago who are still ordering because of these simple gestures. And I didn't even have the money to be sending gratitude packages back when I started my business. I was like shaking in my boots buying stamps, you guys. But here we are. We have persisted because all it took was that extra step of intentionality. So let's go step 3. Here's step number 3. For creating lifetime customers, let me know how your first wash goes and be really authentically excited about it. I even love to do voice notes. I'll say, "Sis, I am so excited for you. Text me the instant you get your products. And when you're about to wash, I'm going to tag you in my wash tutorial that I have on Instagram. Once you watch that and you've washed your hair, tell me how it went. I want to hear all about it." And the action of your customer telling you about their first wash, that is also building trust because that's an experience and you get to share it together in a not weird way, if you know what I mean. But here's where we get the opportunity. We really get the opportunity to genuinely be enthusiastic with our new customer and their new beginning, because it really is a new beginning when you switch to Monate. You go from feeling hopeless about your hair to like washing one time and knowing if I'm just consistent with these products, my hair is going to be so much better in the long term. And that's really what solidifies the trust and the communication. Another good habit is to check up with your new VIP like 2 weeks after they've been washing with the product, or they've been using the skincare, or they've been enjoying their wellness. Just taking time, like 5 seconds, to do a quick little checkup. It makes all the difference, because at the end of the day, your customers are what enrich you. They're what fulfill you and enlarge you. The business can enlarge you as a person, but taking care of your customers and being a good steward of them is really what fulfills me and enriches me. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who experiences that. And you get all of that in your life just because of shampoo. Like, name a better job. I can't. I can't name a better job. So that was all I have for this training. I know it's kind of brass tacks, but when it all comes down to it, you can always increase your PV by saying, here's my system, or this is the product of the month. It'll double the points you earn. And, you know, you get double the PV kind of with that. But when it all comes down to it, what does it really boil down to? It boils down to taking care of the people that trust you, who are ordering from you. And not only that, but being so specific about your story and confident in your story that whenever you share it, you are attracting people who see themselves in you. And then you just do it over and over and over again. Okay, that's all I have. If we would like to open for Q&A, I am open to that. Oh, 28 minutes. I said it was going to be 25.
You did so good, dude. So good. Let's absolutely open it up for Q&A. Do you guys have specific questions about anything that she does or anything that she can answer? I have a question for you, Jack, if you could answer maybe some verbiage around FlexShip and whether how you either address that in the beginning in enrollments and how you have your customers use it.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, first of all, I used to be frightened of the FlexShip. Like, I was somebody who started as a VIP customer, and the FlexShip didn't stop me from ordering. Like, I still wanted to be a VIP, but I was like, I have $70 in my bank account. What if my FlexShip goes through? Like, you know what I mean? But now I love my FlexShip. I love the fact that I can get a free product, and it's so easy to explain and talk about. And so you have to start with the posture of knowing that the FlexShip is actually the best perk that we offer to our VIP customers, because not only can they get a free product when they spend, is it 89 or 84? Whatever, 80 some odd dollars. I couldn't remember if they changed it to 89 or not. If they want free shipping, if they want their free product offered for the month, all they have to do is create an order that they want on the day that they want and let that process, and they get all of their goodies. And on top of that, they could apply their birthday coupon, they could apply their rewards coupons to that purchase. So when I am enrolling a VIP customer, I will email their cart over to them, and I'll just do a quick video, and I'll say, I'm so excited for you. You should have your enrollment email in your inbox. Click on the enroll now, and you'll be brought to this page. And then I'll normally just send them a video of what they're going to see. And I'll say, this is your FlexShip, which is your best VIP perk. It is your direct connection to me. Like, I'm pretty sure Taylor Jade taught on this when we were doing the sales mastery calls. This was the wording she used. And every single time, people would not worry or have some sort of fear that this was going to be an auto ship that would just take over their bank account, you know, because it's not. But she would say, this is your best perk as a VIP customer, and it's also your direct link to me. So we can have a one-on-one customer to sponsor relationship through your FlexShip, because I can help you manage it on my end. And so I use those words, and I just say, this is a completely flexible order. You get to order what you want, when you want it. For ease of enrollment, I already set it up for you. So once you're on this page, you can just click next. But once you're all signed up, if you want to rearrange this or you want to recustomize it, just let me know and we'll work together on that. But all you have to do is click next. And we go from there. So the other part, if you're questioning like why people aren't following through, why aren't people doing anything with their cart after I send it to them? Well, maybe you need to rethink how you're presenting the enrollment process to your potential. Like for me, in the beginning, even though I got 9 VIPs, I probably spoke to 80 people. I probably spoke to 80 people my first week of business, maybe not 80, but it sure felt like it. I felt like my thumbs were going to fall off. My eyeballs hurt from the inside out. And I was like running on adrenaline and black coffee. Like, you guys, I was so eager to share the products that I was just doing anything and everything that I could. But here's the point. If people are confused about how to check out, if they're confused about what it means to be a VIP, their perks, etc., they're not going to go forward with it. So if you're thinking to yourself, well, I've sent X amount of carts, X amount of emails with the cart in it, and nobody has converted into a VIP customer, well, let's think of ways that we can simplify your verbiage. Let's think of ways that we can actually walk our person through the enrollment process and then see how that impacts your conversion rate. Because I know it sure has impacted my conversion rate. People are much more apt to say yes and next and next and next and purchase when they know what to expect.
So good. Thank you for that clarification. You guys, was that so helpful? The flagship verbiage. I knew that was going to be so fire. Because here's the deal, like you want people using flagships, and honestly, you guys, that is your like residual income, right? Like you have your VIPs use it. Even I think it's even better than them using flash sales, because they don't necessarily have like, you know, a minimum purchase with a flash sale to then get this thing. It's like get them exactly what they need, get their free product, and now with the VIP points and stuff, typically you get enough points on your first order to get $10 off your flagship. Mm-hmm. So like you can just use that right there. So yeah. So good. Amazing. Who else has questions? I'm sure somebody's got something for you, Jack.
Give it to me. I just want to clarify, you guys, I started this business and I had never owned a business in my life, never worked a job besides being a nanny, which is more like being a mother and not working a job. And was the youngest of 4 children, didn't want to go into corporate or anything like that. But I came into this business just knowing that I was capable of sharing what I loved. And if you have that belief in yourself, it's going to be easier for people to build trust with you, which it all starts at trust. Like the trust is the base of everything, whether it's just people who follow you to follow you, or it's people who follow you to join you with the product or join you with the business. You have to have that trust and belief in yourself to then convey that to somebody else. Because people can look at befores and afters all day, any day of the week. But what it all comes down to is, do they trust you to take them through the journey?
100%. I was going to say, I think all this comes down to also Jackie's conviction, right? Like if you are convicted about what you're selling, what you're sharing, people want what you have, like, period. If you are passionate about it, if you are eager about it, even before you have a transformation, right? I mean, it took my hair, I would say a solid 2 years to be able to be like, wow, that's a big difference. But in the meantime, I was like, oh, I'm a little less oily, or like, oh, I can go longer between washes. Like transformation happened, but to have a full-blown transformation, it took a while, but I was still making sales in that time because I knew what was going to happen. And so that's a huge part. Mel, I saw you unmuted.
Yeah, I was going to ask, and I see Christina has a question too. But I was going to ask Jackie, could you please explain, when you're promoting products, do you have like a specific Like, do you think that you want to make a reel? Do you want to post it on your timeline? Do you want it in the stories? Like, what is your strategy when you're talking specifically about products?
So like I mentioned before, I like to keep it super simple. So in the beginning, where I used to promote every flash sale and I used to talk about every product, I used to talk about Curly Girl products when I didn't even use them. So as you can imagine, I felt kind of like stretched and like I didn't know what I was talking about. And so that affected my confidence. But now, what I've kind of been doing like these last 2.5 years is really just focusing on product that is like Jackie product, you know? So when I'm talking about Jackie product, I will put it on my story. And if I'm talking about products like for the wide range of my customer base, I put it on my close friends list, which ties into Christina's question. When it comes to flash sales, do you reach out to every customer or do you have like a group chat or FB IG page you share it on? I have all of my VIP customers who have come from Instagram in a close friends group on Instagram. And so whenever there's a flash sale or there's an opportunity to get product on a crazy discount, the hot tools, the CBD, you know, all that, I put it in my close friends group. So my VIPs see it first. And sometimes I don't even get around to advertising a certain sale on my stories. But more times than not, if it's like a sale on Rejuvenique or if it's a $12 shampoo sale, I'm going to be talking about it on my stories, presenting it on my stories. And for the most part, my audience consistently sees me do Rejuvenique oil treatments on my story and my post-shower routine on my story. So my audience, whether they're skipping through or they're just watching it for the 12th time or whatever, they are only seeing a rotation of like 4 or 5 products from me. And that's a part of my system. So does that answer your question? Okay.
So good. Okay, any other questions? Do you guys feel solid about helping your customers, about getting new customers? This is the thing too, I want to say, just to give you a little pep in your step, with Vegas qualifications, you still have half a month to lock it in this month, right? And did everybody make sure that you read the qualifications? Because you do want to, if you want your flight covered, it needs to be all 6 months. So this month counts. Yeah, that's such a good question. Does anyone need help figuring out their product story? But what I was going to say is I just want to give everyone the permission to have full belief that you're already going to Vegas. Period. End of story. Like, you're going to figure out how the PV comes in and who becomes your customer. But if you make the decision right now that you're going to Vegas, like, you will, because you will then posture yourself differently and you will help the customers. You will then find the people that need your help, right? I mean, every time a trip rolls out, Jackie's like, see you there. I'm like, yeah, she will. We just registered for Bahamas today. She's already qualified for first month of Vegas. Like, it's like you have to have that full belief to make it happen, right? Good, Amber. We love that. We love that. So even if you have no volume right now, listen to me real close. You can go to Vegas. Okay. Christy's got a question. You want to take that one, Jack?
Sure. Where do you think the majority of your new customers come from? Like, what specifically do you do to get new eyes on your page that actually converts into new VIPs? Oh, this is so good. Okay, so there was a time where my Instagram was super dry and I wasn't producing content that brought in new people. But lo and behold, over the last 2 or 3 weeks, gotten like 400 new followers. And it's all from Reels. So you just got to do the reel. You just got to do the Reels. I mean, I can get behind the Reels train because there's so many cool, fun, unique things that you can create content on. And this is I think this is a topic for another training, but one of the ways that I have operated my business on social media is I have not confined myself to one identity on my social media. I mean, my identity is me, and I'm a lot more than Monat. So on my social media, that is what I am constantly portraying on my social media, which helps me be authentic to who I am, because I love sharing about so many other things. So when I'm creating Reels content, every time I create a Reel, it's not a hair tutorial. It might not even be like a hair transformation Reel. But what has brought in these 400, almost 500 new followers over the last few weeks is content about the painting I did 2 months ago, about my recent Sunday outfit of the days, using audios that get me like anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 views, all these sorts of things. But the topic is different each time, and it brings in a wide range of new people. And I would say that's the most tried and true method. I think it's kind of suffocating, to stick with like one thing or to only create one type of content. Now, there are women in Monat who do that, and we just had this conversation. There are women in Monat who do that, and they're amazing. They're top recruiters. But when it all comes down to it, you have to operate your business in a way that's authentic to you. Because if you don't do that, you're going to fizzle out. And that's me. That's me speaking. So if you're somebody who can do that over and over and over and over again, good on you. Do that. But Reels.
So good. I was just going to say, Jackie embodies, like, Jackie is the brand, right? Like whenever we talk about like, be the niche, be the brand, it's like, that's you. It's all the things that are about, that make you, you. And Jackie does that really well. If you guys watch her social media, it's like, you know what to expect. She may give you variety, but I know what to expect. I'm going to get some art. I'm going to get some sky. I'm going to get some sunsets. I'm going to get some flowers. I'm going to get some Joe. I'm going to get some food. I'm going to get some painting. Definitely going to see Everest.
Yeah.
I'm going to get some church outfits, right? Like, I know Jackie Grayson, the brand, right? And you guys probably do too. And all those things stay consistent for her because it's her core values. That's what she shares. So her Reels have a variety of things if you go and look at them. Some of them it's her and Joe. Yeah, the mirror selfies. Like, that's the Jackie brand. It's like the closet mirror selfie. Like, these things are all fall under the umbrella of what makes Jackie Jackie. So let that be like such an inspiration for you, because it's like, what makes Ashton Ashton? What makes Evelyn Evelyn? What makes Paulina Paulina? Like, those are the things you get to share. Because at the end of the day, when people feel like they know you and they trust you, they buy from you. And Jackie embodies that 1000%. We all feel like we know her. Some of you do. But if you know her in the flesh, you know that then what you see online, you're like, accurate. Jackie's going to take a selfie in the hotel mirror when I'm with her, and she's going to take the selfie in her mirror in her bedroom, right? It's who she is. So all that being said, I think it just kind of stamps this idea of like building the trust comes from like you authentically showing up in this space, that you are you, right?
Yeah.
So good. Everyone's hyping you in the comments, and some Veggie Tales. Actually, that's so funny.
It's so true. But like,
okay, does anyone have any final questions, or Jackie, any final thoughts for you, babe?
I'm smiling so hard my cheeks hurt, so I don't know if I can even talk. I'm like, my jaw is locking. I'm smiling so hard. So I think I'm done.
Amazing. All right, thanks so much, Jack, for doing this. We'll make sure to get this recording out to everybody. Go ahead and tell us in the team chats that you're in what you were most inspired by and what action you're going to take from this, because we would love to hear your feedback. And drop in the chats too if you guys want a little social media deep dive with Jackie, because I think that could be really powerful.
No.
Thanks so much, Jack. All right, guys. See you guys next time. Bye, y'all.